Rumi, that Rumi poem about getting up in the morning. It's been a comfort to me when I've remembered it, when I wake up in the morning and I feel less than happy. It's a comfort to me that that famous, amazing Persian mystic poet named Rumi said lots of people wake up that way. And that was back in the 12th or 12th century, I think. So we've been at this a long time, us human beings. We've been at it a long time. And I think we've gotten a really, really perverse sense of what we should consider normal. I think that's gotten horribly exaggerated, and especially over the last probably 50 years, but maybe longer even. I don't know if you remember, you probably don't. I'm older than you are, likely, or we're probably the same age at best. And there was a whole period when women were going to the doctor and dispensed Valium because they were unhappy. And the Valium just took the edge right off of that unhappiness. And that was a pretty crazy time. But I think what it signifies, and how I believe it's gotten in some ways even worse, is that our expectations are that we're supposed to be happy all the time. And we have these machines, these phones and these computers, and we can click on things and we have instant results and things happen, and we can present ourselves on social media as having our life really together, and we're all happy, and here's my time at the beach, and here's my time at this restaurant with this gorgeous meal, and like that is the goal, is to look good and be happy. And I'm kind of going for, let's be real and shoot for well-being. Like well-being, that we're not sick, that our actual being in our lives is well. Not happy, but well. And so this morning I got up, and I've been doing something in my life that has been a stretch for me. And I woke up with that feeling in that Rumi poem. What I realized was I was breaking the rules. I was breaking the old family rules. I was the baby in the family, and I was not to be shooting off my mouth. Because if I did shoot off my mouth, I would be laughed at. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, isn't she cute? She's the cute little sister. And then paradoxically, stop whining, and you want too much, and you're way too much for us. So I was either the cute little dumb sister, or I was asking for way too much and thinking too big of thoughts and doing things that people didn't like. And that led to waking up every morning for much of my life, being afraid to just get up and walk out the door because I was going to be wrong in one way or another. And so my whole life has been about incremental growth, where I'm more and more fully myself. And dang, if that hasn't just continued, there seems to be no end point. And when there's an end point, I don't feel well. I feel like I'm just kind of stuck and not living into the present moment, which is always changing, and not fulfilling who I am now, and not reaching for more of who I might be as a human being and how I might more fully express myself. When I'm in that place, though, when I take that next step, and I want to encourage you to know that I would have great empathy with you if, when you take the next step in your life, in any arena, if it's pushing up against old glass ceilings that were set in place for you for any reason, whether it was your family or school or the culture at large, if you're pushing up against those limits, it's very normal to feel some trepidation. Maybe voices, probably not auditory, but there may be some real clear kind of old voices that say, you can't do that. Who are you? Who do you think you are anyway? To push up against these old boxes that we've got you in. Who are you to do that? A friend of mine, when he would expose a vulnerable part of himself, would then often report having what he called a vulnerability hangover. And I think that's a great kind of way of thinking about it. Like, we move beyond our limits, and then we feel like, oh my God, when's the shoe going to drop? When's the stick going to come out? When is somebody going to laugh at me? That's normal. And it's okay. And you get to hang in there with yourself and not judge yourself because you're not blissfully happy all the time, even though you're doing exactly what you believe you need to be doing, that it's okay. It's not always... Well, it's not always, it's rare that we take a big leap and feel a great sense of well-being at that point. The sense of well-being is hearing that inner voice that says, yes, go ahead and try this. It's good enough. It's good enough and safe enough to try, and it may not work, and that's okay. And you're not going to feel instantly successful or instantly happy with your decision. So let's go back to happy. I think it's very misguided, and I think many, many people have fallen into very unbalanced levels and regulation of their dopamine system, which is their gratification-seeking neurotransmitters. And if you want a wonderful read about how that works, a woman named, I hope I get her last name right, Anna Lemke, has written a book called Dopamine Nation. And it was eye-opening to me. And I realized, wow, she's talking about a large phenomenon where people put out this image of themselves and then they get all this attention. The so-called influencers and people on all kinds of social media post this glowing picture of who they are and what their lives are like. And then all these people give them a lot of attention for that. And their dopamine, they need more and more and more and more. They need those likes. They need those, shares. They need those wahoos. And it's endless. And it's unbalanced. Anna Lemke was interviewed by Joe Rogan, I don't know when, maybe a year ago. And he was a little flummoxed, it seemed to me, when she said, we have to learn to tolerate discomfort and just kind of evenness, rather than always feeling like we get to have this big, we seek it and we get it. We seek it and we get it. We seek it and we get it. And it's just, it's very unrealistic to live a life like that. And it also would tend to keep people stuck on things that keep them getting the likes, rather than really going into, wait, who am I really? And what do I really want? And who are these people? And who am I deeply, and who am I becoming? And asking all those really good, thoughtful, meaningful questions that do not create instant gratification. In fact, they will create, in the immediate time after people move into a new way of being in the world, take risks, at first what they get is what you might call an emotional hangover, or an old family system rule-breaking hangover. So, today, I got up and I followed my own advice, which I actually recorded what to do when you get stuck. And so if you haven't seen that video, you might, that's what I'm referring to. And I was able to locate the feelings and get to the narrative and ask for help and be witnessed so lovingly by my husband, and then changed my state so that I wasn't paralyzed. But then it occurred to me, oh, but I've still got this lingering kind of hangover, and that it's important to expect that and not pathologize that and not be afraid of it. It won't last forever. You'll get used to the new way of being. And also not to sabotage oneself when you do get used to this new way of being and you're actually feeling good, you're feeling deep well-being, to not sabotage it and go back to low level, not feeling very good, and always in a constant rush for the next hit of dopamine. To stop that and say it's okay. It's okay that we don't feel great all the time. That's not human. That's unrealistic. And we're actually being made fools in some ways by a culture that's there to sell us distraction and entertainment and more stuff, with the hope that we can keep that kind of high stimulation going. It's not normal. It's not reasonable. Don't do that. Let yourself have many moments of just, I'm okay. I don't have to be stimulated all the time. I don't have to be, I don't have to have gratification of all my wants and needs all the time. I can be a mature person. I can be an adult. I don't have to be infantilized. So, I hope that's helpful. I hope you can take yourself off the hook and have well-being. Shoot for that and not judge yourself if you're not happy. happy comes and goes. Let it go when it's gone. It'll come back. And shoot for something better. All right. Take care. Godspeed on your way.